The insult cracked through the courtroom before the bailiff had even finished calling the case. The CEO leaned across the rail, stabbed a manicured finger toward the woman at the records desk, and said loud enough for every lawyer, deputy, and journalist in the room to hear, "You are just a clerk. Stamp the correction and stay out of my way." A gasp rolled through the gallery. The older woman behind the desk went still, one hand resting on a stack of files, as if the paper itself were the only thing keeping her upright. Then Judge Caprio looked up from the bench, removed his glasses with slow, surgical calm, and the whole room understood that whatever this hearing had been 5 seconds earlier, it had just become something else entirely. The fluorescent lights seemed harsher after that, flattening every expensive surface and every tired face, until the contrast in that room became almost unbearable to look at. At one table sat Power in cream silk and custom tailoring. At the other sat a woman in a navy cardigan with mended cuffs and a courthouse badge clipped to her collar. If you've ever wanted to see the exact moment arrogance mistakes quiet dignity for weakness and then pays for it in public, stay with this one, because before the hearing was over, the woman who said, "You are just a clerk," was going to learn what a clerk can do when truth has a paper trail and a judge with a memory for moral rot. The CEO was Vivian Kessler, founder of Kessler Urban Holdings, the kind of developer whose name was stamped on glass towers, ribbon cuttings, and political donor lists. She wore an ivory suit so sharply tailored it looked weaponized, pearl earrings the size of marbles, and a gold watch that flashed every time she moved her hand. Her hair was gathered into a perfect knot, and even her irritation looked expensive. She carried herself like a woman who had spent 20 years entering rooms already half obeyed. Beside her, 3 attorneys sat with color-coded binders and the strained confidence of people who still believed the room belonged to their client. At the side desk sat Elena Russo, 59 years old, deputy filing clerk for municipal permits and land use records, widowed, soft-spoken, responsible for her adult son, who had suffered a traumatic brain injury years earlier and now needed daily care. Her shoes were sensible, her badge lanyard frayed, her silver-streaked hair pinned back with practical precision. But there was something unbreakable in the way she held her chin. She was not glamorous. She was not powerful. She was the kind of woman most people stopped seeing after 5 seconds. And she had been the one person in City Hall who refused to alter a date on a demolition permit connected to Kessler's latest luxury project. On paper, the hearing looked technical and dry. Vivian Kessler claimed Elena had deliberately withheld and mishandled permit documents, costing her company millions in delays. Her lawyers framed it as bureaucratic incompetence wrapped in personal bias. Elena, they implied, was an insignificant clerk who overstepped her authority and damaged a legitimate development. Simple, administrative, forgettable. But Judge Caprio had heard enough simple cases in his life to know when a file was trying too hard to stay small. He turned first to Vivian. "Mrs. Kessler," he said quietly, "before we address permits, let's address your tone." Vivian gave a tight smile that did not reach her eyes. "Your Honor, I'm under enormous pressure. My company cannot be held hostage by a clerk who thinks a rubber stamp makes her a policymaker." The courtroom went silent. Not polite silence, dead silence. The kind that follows a sentence so revealing it almost enters evidence on its own. Elena did not look up. She simply folded her hands tighter over the file in front of her. Judge Caprio noticed. The first testimony was exactly what Vivian wanted: schedules.